The wild man in Wildfoot has broken the streak of the world's fastest monster truck. Will the king continue his Bigfoot blitz, or will another Midway monster pull out the victory? Up next, racing action as hot as the summer sun. From the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds at Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, it's the Lucas Oil 4-Wheel Jamboree National Series featuring the General Tire Monster Truck Thunder Drags. Yesterday, the streak was broken. Christian Norman and Bigfoot 18 knocked out Mat Dishman and Raminator in the finals, but the subject of conversation was these huge ramps just off the starting line. If you didn't tiptoe over them, you'd end up way down the track. In fact, Diesel Dave Redzira's in the XTP machine is in the back right now trying to repair damage from round number 1. But with more on the streak being broken, we're going to head over to the pits and my colleague, Tim Howard.
We like to bother these guys as much as we can, so we wait till they're working. Then we sneak up on them.
Oh, geez. What's going on?
Hi, buddy.
Hey.
Well, you know, after yesterday's great racing win, we thought we'd come and see what you got in store for us all today. We thought maybe you'd be going after the freestyle or maybe, you know, come up with something really cool for the two-wheel skills.
Oh, yeah. You know, yesterday was yesterday. Today is fresh, clean slate.
There you go. We got this. We'll work together.
Yeah. But, you know, I got my guys who are working on this old Bigfoot number 18, man. They're making sure everything's tight and right for today. Today's a new day.
Today's a new day.
Let's try it again.
All right, man. Well, we wish you luck out there.
Thanks,
and,
buddy.
I hope things work out well, and, you know, don't be afraid to take another racing win.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to go after two-wheel skills
never
or freestyle and get mad off.
Not afraid. It's all good, man, you know. But it's always fun running with Mikey Jr., you know what I mean? Because he's just an animal out there, you know, with that overkill truck.
Yeah.
It's really cool. But it was Ford Takeover yesterday, right?
Yeah. He put it all back together, so he's gunning for you today in the racing.
Oh, I know. Everybody's out for each other.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. The talk is the talk. It's all about the walk of the walk.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
All right, man. Well, we wish you the best of luck today, and
Thanks,
we'll leave
guys.
you alone.
Thanks,
you got
guys.
some cleaning to do, it looks like.
Yeah,
so.
a little bit, right?
Yeah. All right, man. Have a good day.
Well, it's definitely a Ford takeover yesterday. We got 3 Fords and 3 Rams in the field. One of the Rams with that big Cummins diesel engine, but Diesel Dave Redzira's is dealing with an absolute nightmare right now after this round 1 race against Mikey Botters in Overkill Evolution. Dave is in the back right now trying to effect repairs on some driveline damage, some very severe driveline damage he did on this vehicle. You can see he and Michelle strong-arming some new differential parts in to the rear end housing on the front of this machine. Tim Howard is making his way over there right now to get a word with Dave.
Holy cow, we're here with Dave, the original Diesel Dave, at the worst time possible to interrupt him. Dave, I know you don't have much time, but we want one quick question. What'd you think of the jumps last night?
I want to know why you think this is the worst time to interrupt me, and you always interrupt me at the worst time. All the time.
Because we love you, Dave. It's the only time I can catch you.
The jumps were good. Whole shot was maybe a bit too aggressive, but no, it's good. It's a good track for sure. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but I was the first pair out, and I think after mine and Overkill's run, everybody learned to tone it down off that first hill. But it's nothing that can't be conquered.
Dave, we thank you for taking the time to give us a little information, and we wish you the best. You had a great run for those 2.5 seconds. Thank you, Dave.
Well, Dave and Michelle always in high spirits in spite of the mechanical problems. Here's a look at the points coming into today's action. You can see Raminator still up on top after an undefeated streak in Lima. Lucas Oil Bigfoot, though, closing the gap after yesterday. Right now, Tim is headed over to the Hall Brothers pits to talk to Mat Dishman.
We're here with Hall Racing, do a little discussion on what happened yesterday in the racing. I'm kind of, you know, bewildered myself probably as much as you are that after 3 straight racing wins, you got took down yesterday.
Well, that's all right. You know, it's hard to win them all. You know, you try, but you're racing with some of the best guys out there, and it's tough. But, you know, we couldn't get the traction in the middle. We made some fuel changes, made some gear changes, so we'll see what the Ford has in the field. I guarantee you the Rams not going to
I believe that. That's why I wanted to have you a part of the interview. I'm wondering what little sneaky tricks you guys had up your sleeve last night to make the changes needed to take out Bigfoot and everybody else today.
Well, part of the problem here was that grass in the middle was very, very slippery. And we had these sharp tires, which are the equivalent of like running a motocross tire on the street, on your motorcycle. Okay. It's just not very good. It doesn't dig very good through that grass. And now the grass is ripped up a little bit, and I think traction will be a little bit better. I know they worked on the track. They dug that up a little bit for us, and the ramps at the top there, or at the beginning of the track, were really steep and giving a lot of guys fits. But I think our guys handled that pretty well, so I think we got that handled. We just need to be able to get a hold of something in the middle. So we changed the trucks around a little bit to compensate for that, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I did notice, especially in Lima, he likes to get settled in and let that horsepower go, man. He lets that thing breathe, and it goes. But it chases him down.
When it can't get a hold of anything, then it doesn't do us any good. So.
One of the downsides of having so much horsepower. So, well, we wish you guys the best of luck today. And we'll come over and visit you afterwards, hopefully with a podium. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Very, very busy man this weekend, Tim Howard. We're all hustling to try to stay up with what's going on here at the Lucas Oil 4-Wheel Jamboree. The General Tire Monster Truck Thunder Drags, round number 5, coming your way from Bloomsburg next.
This Back Channel Productions program is presented in part by Monsters Monthly. For up-to-date show and ticket info, plus articles, event breakdowns, and a wide selection of photo and video galleries, visit monstersmonthly.com.
We will four-wheel drive you wild. The O'Reilly Auto Parts 4-Wheel Jamboree roars into the Indiana State Fairgrounds all this weekend, Friday through Sunday. Big, tough, lifted, unstoppable. With shiny rides, muddy tires, the Tough Truck Challenge, General Tire Burnout, the UTV Shootout, and lightning fast mud drags. See Bigfoot and the world's top monsters in the General Tire Monster Truck Thunder Drag. Shop and save in the huge performance marketplace. Get discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Info at 4wheeljamboree.com. Part of the Lucas Oil 4-Wheel Jamboree Series.
This Back Channel Productions program is presented in part by Crush This. For an inside look at the world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, available on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube.
Round number 5 of the General Tire Monster Truck Thunder Drags, coming at you from the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, right here on Monster Power. We take a look at the bracket going into round number 1. Lucas Oil Bigfoot taking on the General Tire Ram, then Overkill Evolution with a bye run. Unfortunately, Diesel Dave could not effect repairs in time to get his machine back to the starting line, and we finish up with Raminator taking on the Safety Clean Black Stallion. On the line, you see Kurt Kramer and the General Tire Ram had a rough time yesterday. Tim Howard had a chance to catch up with him and find out what he thought about the changes made to this track.
The track wasn't very favorable to us in between the front jump and the back jump, but they made some changes to the track today. They graded it in between the jumps, so we should be able to get some traction. We got some really good General Tire cleats on here, so we're gonna do it to it today. I drew Bigfoot first round today, so not an easy opponent, but he's not undefeatable either. So we're gonna put General Tire to the max today, race him hard.
I'm glad they cleaned up that track and toned down, shall we say, that first jump?
Yes, they did.
That was a little crazy.
So they did tone it down, which essentially means the track's totally different than what it was yesterday. So the outcome's certainly going to be different.
We will see how these two handle this re-prep track. Bigfoot 18 against the General Tire Ram. Both of them to the inside. Big problems for the Ram. Big problems for Bigfoot. Christian Norman will cross the finish line first, but was there a penalty on the run? He went way right. 8.78, Bigfoot will take the win, but that was a wild ride for both of these guys. We'll get another look at this and see if we can see what happened. It looks like both of them launched to the outside, and in an effort to recorrect, they went up the inner edge of the ramp, and that put them right next to each other. not a whole lot of margin for error here in these narrow lanes at Bloomsburg. Luckily, they kept out of each other's lane for the most part. I don't know how much they took off that first ramp. Kurt Kramer went straight up in the air. Now, Mikey Vaters, Overkill Evolution. He'll take a bye run. We will see. Does that problem persist? Remember, they ripped up the grass here. These guys may be getting to some marbles that are throwing them out of shape. Not Mikey, though. That was a perfect start. Really, really solid run. Probably not as fast as he's going to go later, but that was a good run for Mikey Vaters. 7.92. So a 7.92 on a bye run. That's a good time on this track. And again, that starting line launch was near perfect. Landed right on the backside of that thing and right down. It's exactly how you want to run this track. His moto background has got to be paying off for him right now. Back on the starting line, here is your points leader, Mat Dishman in the Raminator. Seen one Ram hit this track, did not have the best of luck. He takes on Mike Vaters Sr. in the Safety Clean Black Stallion. And last night, Mike Vaters Sr. went for a wild ride. Tim Howard caught up with him.
All right, we're over here with Mike Vaters Sr., owner, driver of the Black Stallion. Mike, I got to ask you, what was up with that second hit yesterday? You bonsai'd that thing.
Well, I just I hit it a little too hard. I was hoping to get flat landed and go. It just took a bounce, but that hill's tricky. So we're gonna try and tap the brake and air brake it and come down the downside today and see if we can do a little better.
Yeah, you got those magical air brakes I heard on this truck.
Yeah, well, you just tap the brake and get the nose to come down. Land at the top of that ramp, downside it, and just mat it and see what happens.
They did change the track around. They graded in between. They toned that jump down a little bit, so things should be a little bit better for you. I know this is kind of a special weekend for you. This is like a 20th anniversary, I believe.
Well, 20th when we actually jumped another truck. We jumped another truck here July 14th in 1999, so it's exactly 20 years later. So we got something up our sleeve. We're going to try and hopefully all the trucks hold together and we're able to pull it off.
All right, awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck today, and we'll come back and visit later on, man. Have fun. Thank you, Mike.
Here we go. Let's see how these guys handle the track. They've both taken some wild rides here this weekend. Great start for both, but Dishman pours on that big Hemi power and will cross the finish line first. A little bit of a wild landing there in the shutdown area. Tearing up some sod. Man, he used all of that outfield to shut that thing down. Went right out to the racetrack. Good time for him, though. A 7-second flat run. Mike Vaters, not a bad run either, but it wasn't enough to get the victory. Mat Dishman moves on to the semifinals and will take on our fast loser. More coming up from Bloomsburg. Stay with us. Bloomsburg Jamboree in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, always packed with four-wheel fanatics to the show and shine and cruise lane there. Full of trucks today, glistening in the sunshine. Here's a look at the bracket going into the semifinal round. Overkill Evolution gets another shot at Bigfoot. We'll see if Christian Norman can carry it on into the final round. He'll take on one of the two Hall brothers. Mat Dishman remains in the bracket right now. Two Fords on the starting line. We know we're going to have a Ford Ram final round, so will it be Overkill Evolution or Christian Norman in the Lucas Oil Bigfoot 18? Little hole shot from Vaters, but a pretty even start. Man, they were right there together. Mikey Vatter's going for a little slide. In the outfield, Christian Norman and Bigfoot using up a lot of track space himself. But who won that? We are waiting on an official call. I believe they're going to have to go back to a replay on this one. That was so close. Norman was coming on Mikey there at the end, but Mikey held him off right to that finish line jump. Who crossed the cones first, though? We're getting word that from the outside area of the track over by the mud pit, it looked like Bigfoot, but from this inside, it looked like Vatter's. You can see Vatter's get a little out of shape there in no man's land. It looks like Bigfoot was coming past him there at the finish line, but did he get to the cone first? We're here at Overkill Evolution, got the win, but we're still looking at it. They're trying to make absolutely sure. Look at that, Mikey had him. Christian definitely came around and past the finish line, but man, they were nose to nose. And it will go down as Overkill Evolution at a 7.06, so he's closing on Mat Dishman right now. Speaking of Mat Dishman, back on the starting line, the big Ram out of Illinois. Your points leader, Mat Dishman, the Raminator, taking on his teammate, Kurt Kramer, the General Tire Ram. You know that the Hall Brothers Racing team would love to see this as a final round battle at some point this year instead of in the first round or semifinals. Good launch for Mat Dishman. It is all Raminator on that run. Again, a little bit wild there in the shutdown area, but not the problems that he had in the last run. 7.09 for Dishman, a very consistent pair of runs for him between the first round and semifinals. He and Mikey, though, are going to be close. The championship coming up next from Bloomsburg.
Four-wheel drive you wild. The O'Reilly Auto Parts four-wheel Jamboree roars into the Indiana State Fairgrounds all this weekend, Friday through Sunday. Big, tough, lifted, unstoppable. With shiny rides, muddy tires, the Tough Truck Challenge, General Tire Burnout, the UTV Shootout, and lightning fast mud drag. See Bigfoot and the world's top monsters in the General Tire Monster Truck Thunder Drag. Shop and save in the huge performance marketplace. Get discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Info at fourwheeljamboree.com. Part of the Lucas Oil Four-Wheel Jamboree Series.
Monster Power is the place for all the action of the Lucas Oil 4-Wheel Jamboree Series for 2019, featuring the General Tire Monster Truck Thunder Drags. Here's a look at the way our pairing stacks up in the championship race. 0.06 of a second separate them on their fastest track time, and according to their semifinal round time, only 0.03 of a second. So Mikey has improved. Matt has been very consistent. They've met two other times this year in a final round race. Matt got him both of those times. That was out in Lima, Ohio, so Matt would be the favorite on paper, but Mikey has been getting some awesome starts. Can he knock Dishman out? Perfect launch for Vatter's. Not enough in the end for Dishman. You can see the big Hemi horsepower winding up. But it's going to be Mikey Vatter's on day number 2 in Bloomsburg, finally laying down a racing victory, his best track time today. But it doesn't matter, he gets the win as he celebrates here on the infield of the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds. That victory has got to mean a lot to him at this legendary event. A lot going on this weekend. No best trick competition today. We are running a little bit short on time, so he's going to take that truck back to the pits, but he's going to be good and tight for freestyle. Here's a look at the points after round number 5. You can see that gap closing up bit by bit on Mat Dishman. Can these guys continue to chip away at his lead? And you can see Mikey Voders is now tied for second place with Christian Norman. Tim Howard has made his way over to Mikey Voders.
All right, here we are with Mikey Voders II, Overkill Evolution, who went out and won racing.
Yeah.
So what do you got to say about that racing win?
It feels great to have a racing win. I didn't have one in Lima, I don't believe. And so having the racing win and freestyle last year here in Bloomsburg, I got everything on Saturday. So following up this year on Saturday, winning everything. Let's see if we can go out there and get that win tonight in freestyle.
Man, it was a tight race.
It was.
That semifinal against the old BF there was a tight one, and then you went out and dominated in the final round, man. Congratulations.
A very happy Mikey Voders. You can tell already looking toward this freestyle competition, trying to get a clean sweep here on Saturday afternoon. You can see no best trick competition for us today. Again, a little bit short on time, but that means these guys should be at 100% when they go into freestyle. We thank you for joining us for this edition of Monster Power. We will see you next time.